that record button. All right, everybody. Thank you for joining us on tonight's Zoom call. Tonight, the sort of, I guess, goal of the call is for me to kind of update you on leadership and what information I have from leadership. Some of it is stuff that I'm sure you guys have seen, and I'm going to kind of blaze through what I think you already know about and get into some stuff about the company that I think you will find interesting, and I hope you find it interesting and insightful. So leadership is the time where they do give us new product information, but they also let us sort of under the hood, if you will, of the company and give us a lot of numbers and talk to us about growth. And they talk to us about where we're at and what the projections are, where we want to be, and kind of where we're going. So a little bit of where we've been and a little bit of where we're going. So let's kind of kick it off with some of the stuff you already know about. I think if you don't, I'll fill you in a little bit. And I'm going to just kind of flip back and forth because my notes when I go to stuff like this are mostly taken with my camera. So if I look like I'm searching around for some information, it's because I am. I just take my camera, and when they have slides with information, I just take pictures of the slides, which is how I sort of get these things. So I had it all queued up here, and then I botched it and lost it all. So, but I'm sure I can talk to you about some of that stuff as I'm going. Obviously, the big thing today is the release of P90, which is really exciting. On a personal level, it's very exciting because P90 was really the program that Monica and I started with. And so for them to redo this program and re-release it is a little sentimental, I guess, but it's also important. And it's important because this program is one of those programs, and I don't feel like we've necessarily got enough of these programs that anybody can do. I've done the sweat. I did Sweat A yesterday, and I did Sculpt A with Monica today. And I could have done these workouts in 2003 when I started working out and was 40 pounds heavier and had a pretty messed up knee that was causing me to, feel like I was 50 when I was 31 or whatever it was. And that's really encouraging to me because I think sometimes, what Beachbody does is they put out a workout that's really hard and there's a modifier. And they go, well, just follow the modifier. And they sort of say, hey, anybody can do this, but yeah, the 21-day fix is definitely anybody can do this kind of workout. A lot of the other workouts are simply too hard. And when you get a workout, even like a T25 where you have a modifier, you can follow Tanya and I think, be fine through T25. But it's a little discouraging when you see people who are super, super fit, who are way past where you are. And there's this kind of like, how the heck am I ever going to get there? These people are so far beyond me mentality that people have and they quit. Or they try and follow those people too fast and they get hurt. And so this is a program that is really focused on the people we know who need to get started. And that for me is really exciting. And the fact we're doing it with a Tony Horton branded product as well, I think is important. Again, Tony is, an iconic brand. So I'm really excited about the launch of P90, and I've already had a couple of challenge pack sales and signed a coach today who's just been waiting for it to come out. And I got another one who I'm swapping emails with. So it's been a busy day in a good way. So that's what's out now. There is a post in our Fit Club Network coaches group, with the links to the FAQ where you can find info about it, and you can also find your links so you can create your own links. It got kind of shoved down when I pinned the team call to the top, but I'll go track it down and pin it back again so you guys will have access to that stuff. So that's what's out now. Coming up next is Insanity Max 30. That'll be out for Christmas. So Insanity Max 30 is an Insanity branded workout, which again I think is important from a sales perspective. That's why they called P90 P90. It was because they wanted to take advantage of the P90X brand. They're calling this Insanity Max 30 so they can take advantage of the Insanity brand. And I think that's important, and I think it's smart. The concept behind the workout is pretty simple. This is not a beginner workout. This is a super, super hard workout. And the idea behind it is that instead of tracking how many reps you did, the idea is you track the point where you take a break. So let's say you make it through 5 minutes of a workout. You write down 5 minutes, and then the next time you do that workout, you go back to your sheet and go, okay, I'm going to try and make it past 5 minutes this time, and I'm going to get past 5 minutes, and then you get to 6 minutes, and then all of a sudden you're pushing further and further and deeper into the workout until hopefully you can get through the entire half an hour without taking a break. I'm not sure I'm ever going to be that person, but I'll give it a try. And so that's coming out for Christmas. Then the next product they told us about was the 21-Day Fix Extreme. So as I mentioned earlier, 21-Day Fix is a really entry-level product of like, hey, let's get started here type of product, which again, I'm a big fan of. 21-Day Fix Extreme is not that. 21-Day Fix Extreme is basically Autumn's getting ready for a figure competition, bikini competition plan. And that's really what she said was, this is what I do. And so, the workouts are going to be way harder. And actually I know people who, I know one guy named Brad who's become a friend who was in the infomercial and is friends with Autumn, who's done the workout. And he said, it's crazy. It's really, really hard, which is good. We need hard stuff too. And especially to have, again, we're taking advantage of an existing brand that had some monster sales. I've got a screen here and I can tell you what those were. Because it's kind of crazy, really, when you look at what 21-Day Fix has done $39 million this year in sales, which is just silly. I mean, it's just stupid. I'll go through some numbers with you later. And I want you to think about that really quickly. 39 million in sales and what that means for this brand. It's kind of outrageous, to be honest. So we're, again, capitalizing on an existing brand that people have really embraced and love. That will be out. We don't have an exact time, but what they told us was that based on their numbers, and I've always suspected this to be the case, so I was interested to hear this stat. People want to get started at New Year's. They want to have a New Year's resolution and start at New Year's, but they don't actually start in earnest until after the Super Bowl. And I've always thought that was true, because what I always see is we have a bunch of people who are gung-ho in January, and then they come back in February. And I've always thought it was the Super Bowl, but Beachbody's actually tracked this, and that's what they see, is that it's actually after the Super Bowl is when people really actually get engaged. So, we make a lot of sales in January, of course, but people actually are engaging after the Super Bowl. So that's pretty interesting. So they're going to wait until after the Super Bowl to put it out. I think is great. Hold on here. A couple people didn't get muted there. So that's, I don't have an exact release date. That will be coming. I wouldn't, worry too much about it. When the time is appropriate, they'll release stuff. For Insanity Max 30, there is an email collector available right now. So basically you can give people a link and say, hey, sign up for this email collector, and that will link them to you. And they'll start to get information and get some sprinkle out information that comes out as things start. They also announced, which I think is kind of cool, they're going to start running infomercials for the 3-day refresh. And they showed us a really, really rough cut, which I would share with you, but they asked us not to. And I am a rule follower, so I'm not going to give you, and I didn't film the video, even if I wanted to share it with you. I don't have video because they asked us not to film any. But they have a celebrity doctor, I can say that, I think, who is on board to be a spokesman for the product. And they are going to have a celebrity, which they have not announced yet, be the face of the product. So we're going to start running 3-day refresh infomercial ads. Those people are going to go into the Shakeology lead wheel. Okay, so to review really quickly, we kind of have 2 lead wheels that spin, and one of them is for all the products that Beachbody sells. One of them is specific to Shakeology customers. So somebody calls up to buy a Power 90 or a P90, and they get upsold Shakeology. That person goes into that Shakeology lead wheel. It's a little bit better resource, and it's where people who make Success Club get their leads from that, and meet a few other qualifications. But that lead wheel is a little bit different than the other one and has better leads, and that's where the 3-day refresh leads are going to go. Beachbody is really hot to trot on the 3-day refresh. I haven't been so far, I'll be completely honest with you guys. And maybe it's just I haven't dialed into it and I haven't, engaged with it, and that's always a possibility with me. But I will tell you that people who are way smarter than me and have access to certainly a lot more data than I do think this product is going to be a game changer. And we talked a little bit earlier about the 21-day fix, and I want to make sure I'm not misquoting this stat because I've got this on a slide here. So let me just pull this up. Yeah, so earlier I said 21-day fix did 39 million as of August 31st. As of August 31st, the 3-day refresh did 6 million, and that may not sound that impressive in the face of 21-day fix, but you have to think about the fact that 21-day fix was launched February 3rd, and the 3-day refresh wasn't launched until June 23rd. And it's not a product that has been on the infomercial either. So they are really big on this, and made no secret about the fact that they think the 3-day refresh is a real game changer and is going to be a kickstart thing that is going to get a lot of people dialed into who we are and what we do, and create a lot of customers. So that's pretty exciting stuff. I guess just other launch information if you guys care, since we're on that topic. Strawberry Shakeology was launched January 14th. Since then, it's done 28 million in sales. Pio was launched June 19th. It has done $14 million in sales. That's pretty impressive as well when you compare, 39 million for 21-day fix in February and 14 for Pio in June. And again, 21-day fix has been infomercial. I haven't seen a Pio infomercial. There might be one. I haven't seen it yet. But that's pretty impressive numbers. And that leads me almost to the numbers thing that I want to talk a little bit about. They also announced that they're making some improvements, okay? So because our numbers have been so good, what it has allowed Beachbody to do is invest in the company. And that's really exciting. I think sometimes people look at Monica and I as, Monica and I as being, you're in this founder's position, and oh, lucky you, and it must be great to be a founder. If you had seen this company in 2007 when Monica started it, and even in 2009 when I got involved, we didn't have anything. I mean, there was no coach relations. I mean, if you needed something, you had to pick up the phone and hope somebody from corporate answered. We didn't have that. We didn't have Shakeology. We didn't have Insanity. We certainly didn't have all these crazy products and computer systems and all this other stuff. The back office, as you know it, did not exist. If you've ever gone into the previous back office and tried to get that thing to work for you, that's what we had, okay? And it took the people who were the founders of this company and the people who, the Monicas of the world, making it profitable in order for them to reinvest in it and make it what you see in front of you now. So let me go through some of the improvements that are being made. The first one is to coach relations and the customer service leadership. They have hired a gentleman who was previously involved with, and I believe a high-level manager at Amex. So American Express's customer service is, basically one of the top customer service agencies in the business. And they brought this guy over, and they were able to lure him away from Amex because our company's kind of cool. I mean, this is what he told us when we talked to him. It's kind of like, why would you leave Amex? And he said, you guys have a cool company, a cool culture, and there's a lot more upward mobility here because you don't have this big juggernaut ancient company like Amex where, I'm going to have to, claw my way up. There's opportunity to move up, and they've made it clear that that's, they want people to move on up. So pretty exciting to bring him in. We also have a new chief operations officer who's also the chief financial officer, who has a really impressive background working for a bunch of companies that I've forgotten. But when I heard, I was like, whoa, those are big companies. I'm sure they'll have a little bit more formal announcement about Mark Washington later. But exciting to have him on board. The previous CFO was a really great guy, but I think he was kind of winding his career down, and they wanted to have somebody who was getting their career started. You know, as I think you can probably imagine, it's a pretty high energy environment at corporate. It's not a, hey, what's up? It's like a let's charge and let's do amazing things now place. And so that's the people they wanted to fill. So that's really exciting. When we start to hire people like that, some of the conversations I've had with corporate people, you know, in particular on the sales side of things, Jeff Hill and his team, you know, I mean, I don't expect them to tell me, hey, we hired a bunch of schlubs, but you know, they were pretty impressed, and they started to say, you know, when we work with this company or with that company, this is what started to happen. When we became, you know, profitable at this level, they start hiring these new execs, and things just keep going up and up and up. Also a good sign for international expansion, and I can't go into that much more, but it's a good sign for international expansion. Let's just say that. All right, they've also added a new world-class Shakeology manufacturing facility. So we have a new Shakeology manufacturing facility. There's going to be more details on that. They didn't give us a whole lot, just other than just to say, you know, we need to keep up with demand, and demand is, I'll talk about it in a minute, insane. And so we need to have another facility, which is great. In spring of 2015, they're also making investments in computer technology. You may have noticed some differences in the Coach Online office, in particular your sponsorship drill down, and a couple of other things on that homepage, including how many coaches are in your organization. There's more coming to that. They're switching platforms right now to a more advanced Oracle platform that I don't know anything about. And that apparently may cause some little glitchy things, and we'll probably see some you know, outages and things like that, just temporary. They'll announce them, I'm sure, and they're always in the middle of the night anyway. That's another good thing for expansion, international expansion. We need better computer systems, more advanced computer systems, if we're going to be able to handle stuff in other languages. I'll just say that. And one of the things that we're going to get in the spring of 2015 is a new shopping cart. Yay! So the store has been a little cumbersome, and they have not upgraded our store experience for a really long time. They talked a lot about how that was going to work. I'm not going to get into it. I don't remember all of it, but it's going to be a lot better shopping experience. It's going to be a lot easier as they go. You know, right now it's basically you shop, check out. What we are going to be going towards is sort of a shop, check out, and then they go to another screen that says, are you sure you don't want this? If you've ever been on Amazon, you know, you like kind of look at things and they're like, yeah, a bunch of other people who bought this product also bought these products. And you kind of go, well, what is that thing? You know, it's, you know, some techno gadget or whatever. And you go, oh yeah, I should probably have one of those. And it's an add-on thing. So that's going to be part of the experience, but it's just going to be a much smoother flow to the whole experience. So we'll have that in the spring of 2015, which is great. We also have a new scientific advisory board. I don't know if you guys even know that we have a scientific advisory board, but we do have a scientific advisory board. It's made up of 5 gentlemen. That there was a female doctor who was on the list, and apparently she had some sort of conflict and had to resign. They've got, you know, a pretty broad range of extremely impressive people who are on the scientific advisory board. 4 of the gentlemen have PhDs, and the one that doesn't have a PhD is Dr. Marcus Elliott, who developed P90X2 with Tony, and he has a measly MD from Harvard. So a very impressive group of people, 2 of which I know are from the UK. No, for no particular reason other than I want to make that known to you. Because it was made known to me. I'm not making any statements about that. I'm just letting you know 2 of the people on the scientific advisory board are from the UK. You can discern from that what you will. I know I have. Okay, the other thing I wanted to talk about, I need to find this slide, here it is something new that they have announced, which is a new leaders conference. The new leaders conference is really, I love this concept. This is something that I know the sales guys came up with, because they're always really creative and they're always looking for ways to move people forward. And so what they're going to do, it's from January 29th to January 31st. You have to, in order to go to the New Leader Conference, you have to be a 2-star diamond by the end of this year. So 2-star by the end of this year, and not have attended the leadership conference we just got back from, okay? So it's really for people who have advanced to 2-star this year and didn't get a chance to go to that conference, okay? Maybe just missed qualifications for whatever reason. They're gonna keep, this won't be the last one, I don't think. You won't have to really worry about that. But what's exciting about this from my perspective is that what they're doing is they're trying to set something up where emerging leaders can meet each other. As a lot of you guys know, some of my best friends are coaches from other teams. You know, Jimmy Hayes Nelson and Mike Ryan and Josh Spencer. You know, there's a lot of other people. Those are kind of the big three that, you know, I spend a lot of time with when I go to these events. We met at events, and we met at events when we were at similar places in our growth and development. And over the years, we've become really close because we bounce ideas off of each other. You know, I want to do this with my team. What do you think? You know, before I built a coach training website for you guys to have that 7-day quick start training, I talked to these guys. Before I developed our version of Coach Basics, I talked to these guys. I can do that because I met them and I know them, and because we've become close. This is a great idea because this is establishing something that new coaches are going to be able to connect at, and that I think is really, really important. So New Leader Conference, I don't know how many people are creeping up on 2-star. I'm sure we're going to have some people there. I'm pretty personally excited about it. I'm not going to be able to go, obviously. I just think it's cool. I just think it's really, really cool. And I'm sort of hoping that they might let us maybe sneak in there as a speaker or something, because I just want to get to know the new leaders on the team, because I think it's pretty awesome. All right. Yeah, let's get into some of the numbers here. I don't know if I already went past that slide. Sorry, this information is out of order when it came to us. Or the way I'm communicating it, rather, is not the order that it was given to us in. All right. So earlier I gave you some launch numbers, and I posted this slide in the group, but you may or may not have missed it. And I want to make some important points about it. So the slide I'm talking about is the one that shows the growth of the company. So in 2008, when we started, we did 37 million in sales. Team Beachbody. So this is not Beachbody and Team Beachbody, just us, just the network. We did 37 million in sales. So, you know, the numbers that I gave you for, you know, the 21-day fix and you know, PIO, and I mean, we're just killing that number now, which is great. But here's sort of where what's really important is that last year we did, for 2013, we did 328 million. The network did 328 million. This year, we're going to do 550 million. That's a projection. Carl thinks that's conservative and wants to do 6. And I would love to join him, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But what that means is that right now, Team Beachbody, the coach network, is making more money than Beachbody, the TV company, okay? What that means is that we're being super, super profitable because Beachbody spends about $120 million of their revenue, which is roughly, let me just think about it, somewhere between 1/3 and 1/2 of their revenue, they turn right around and put into TV ads, okay? So we don't have that overhead. We have overhead for things like retreats and trips and, you know, leadership and the new leaders retreat and summit. That's the overhead we have. We don't have this crazy overhead because the money that they pay us is a portion of the profits that the company makes. So we just don't have the same overhead that the main company has. So it's a pretty exciting prospect to know that we're making more money than Beachbody is. And one of the reasons why that's important is they have told us over the past, I think since really the first leadership I went to where they started to show us numbers, which I believe was in 2010, they always told us The moment that Team Beachbody becomes more profitable than Beachbody is when things go kaboom, okay? And that's the tipping point that pushes us over the edge and where things really start to get out of control. Now, what validates that? What information do I have to validate that? Well, how about Summit? Let's take a look at Summit, and let's talk about Summit. So, as many of you know, Summit has sold out for next year. Now, why did they sell out of Summit? How come they didn't know that that was what was going to happen? How come their growth projections were so far off? The phrase Carl used was an asteroid hit our growth projections, okay? If you look back over the summits, the first summit, there were about 200 people. The next one, there were like 500. The next one, there were about 1,100. After that, it was about 2,500. Then about 5,000. Then about 7,500. And then last year, we pretty much maxed out MGM at about 9,700, I think was what it was. For them to sell 15,000 tickets in a day should indicate to you the situation that's happening right now and the crazy rocket ship, not train. We're not on a train anymore. We're on a rocket ship now of growth that's happening, okay? So let me talk really quickly about Summit because that's the other announcement that they made. Summit, it will not, everybody who wants to go to Summit is going to be able to go to Summit, okay? What they are going to do is the general session. So for those of you who've been to Summit, you know, we meet a couple of times in the big arena where everybody comes together. We're going to have one general session on the first day. I think on the first day, don't quote me on that, but there's going to be one general session where they do all the announcements, all the new products, all that stuff. That is going to be held at a football stadium. Okay, there's a football stadium, it's like right across the river. That is plenty big for us. And I mean, we can fit, I think, 30,000 people in that. So we're not worried about that. So we got plenty of room for all those people. After that, everybody who goes is going to be put into a track. So I don't know how many tracks they're going to have. Let's say there's 2. What they'll do is you'll have either a track A pass or a track B pass. And what they'll say is, hey, all you track A people are going here in the morning. You track B people are going here in the afternoon, and then you'll switch. So you'll flip-flop, right, back and forth, so that we're not all in the same place at one time. If they have to do 3 of those, they'll do 3 of those. That sounds crazy. If you've been to Summit, you think it's stupid. You think there's probably no way that they could ever figure this out. What you have to remember is that a lot of the people who are at corporate in either the sales division or even some of the corporate positions, not Carl and John, but a lot of the people around Carl and John, like Michael Neiman, have worked for other companies that are a lot bigger than us, a lot bigger, okay? These people have had events that are 60, 70,000 people, all right? They know how to run these big events. They've seen these companies' meteoric rises and growth. This is nothing new to them. It's new to us, and that's why it scares us. It's because it's kind of crazy, and we don't know really what to do. Every time I have conversations with these guys, they just tell me to calm down, that everything's under control, and that it'll all be handled. And, MGM was nuts. MGM was nuts because we had more people than the facility could accommodate. Not more people than there is a facility to accommodate us, just more than that particular facility could accommodate. And it was crazy. But if you're not on the waiting list for Summit, please go do yourself a favor and get on the waiting list and go book a hotel. You should be able to go to Summit if you're on the waiting list. I don't perceive any problem, and that's really the information that I have about it right now. All right, a couple of other interesting numbers that I wanted to give you guys, and then I'm going to go through Carl's priorities for the fourth quarter and talk a little bit about why now is the time, a little more. So expected revenue, this is projected from last year to this year, so from 2013 to 2014. It's a 68% growth in revenue from last year to this year. That's a lot. That's a big number. We have already, by August 31st, we had eclipsed last year by about $40 million. So that's a big, big year. A lot of you have been on this ride. A lot of you are building teams right now. It now is really the time to build, okay? A couple of other interesting numbers that we have. There are 292,000 people who are currently on Shakeology. That's including coaches. That's as of August 31st. All these numbers are as of August 31st. So 292,000 people on Shakeology, and that's a lot. Here are 2 other interesting numbers, though, to compare that to. The first one is 215,000, And there are 215,000 coaches in the network right now. So you might look at that number and say, oh, wow, the vast majority of people who are taking Shakeology are coaches. Is that good? Because it wouldn't be a number that I would think would be real great. I don't want the most people taking Shakeology to be coaches. I want them to be customers because we're a customer-based business. So there's an important distinction to know, which is that there are 138 active coaches. There's 215,000, but only 138 of them are active coaches. So you can pretty much surmise that the people who are on Shakeology Home Direct, and I should say the 292,000, if I didn't say this earlier, that is people on Home Direct, not sales of Shakeology. So that doesn't include the one-off sale that you made to your aunt and she never re-upped on HD or called to cancel, or the challenge pack sale where somebody cancels. These are people who are on HD, okay? So 292,000, 138 are active. What that tells us is that we have a lot of customers who are on Shakeology, and that is good for our business. We need customers. I know everybody wants to sign coaches, and so do I, but just trust me when I tell you that we need customers in this business, and that means we have a lot of Shakeology customers. It's a fantastic number. Another interesting stat. The average amount of time that somebody stays on Shakeology Home Direct is 4.4 months, okay? So, or 4.4 bags is what it says. 4.4 bags is the average amount that people get. I guess that's probably how they're looking at it, which is probably a better distinction than months. So that means, you know, when you're making that, what that tells you is that when you're making an HD sale, when you sell a challenge pack or you get somebody on HD, you can't absolutely count that they're going to be on for 4 months, but I can just tell you from experience, that's about what I see with people. So it's really making, you're making 4 sales when you're making 1. That is worth the extra effort to have the conversation about Home Direct, about a challenge pack, okay? It's worth your time. It's also worth their time because they're the people who are, you know, getting the benefit. You know, yeah, you're getting some commission, but these people are putting something in their body that is incredibly, incredibly powerful and healthy. So I hope those numbers you find them as interesting as I do. They indicate a lot of growth to me. There was another really interesting one. Yeah. So here's how much what they call the Shakeology file, okay? Shakeology HD file. So again, we're just talking HD here. And again, not all these people are currently on HD. You know, there's people who get on HD and they go 4.4 bags and then they jump off. And some of them stay on forever. It's just, you know, includes everybody in the HD file. In January of 2013, there were 94,000 people in the Shakeology HD file. By the end of 2013, there were 172,000 people in the Shakeology HD file. And now, or as of August 31st, there's that 292,000 people who are in that Shakeology Home Direct file. I hope you can appreciate that it is massive growth. That's just insane growth. So once again, it just sort of backs up what I was saying earlier about once we get to the point where we're more profitable, when Team Beachbody is more profitable than Beachbody, things go boom, and things are going boom right now, okay? Right now. So when people talk to me about how it's too late to get involved, it's just way off base. It's just not true. The only time it's going to be too late to get involved in this business is going to be 10 years from now. I mean, I really believe that. We're on an upward trend that is insane. And the growth that is coming up in the next couple of years is going to blow your mind. That only makes a difference for you. It only does anything for you if you build a team. Okay. Now, I don't want to. That sounds a little harsh. I don't want to quite say that because, you know, if your goal is to make a couple $100 a week here, you can do that selling product and making retail commissions, and it's going to be easier for you because we're going to continue to have a bigger and bigger presence, and that will help you more and more and more because pretty soon. In the next 5 years, people are going to look, and when they think fitness, they're going to think Beachbody the way they did about Gold's Gym, you know, in the 80s and 90s. That was the gym. That's who we're going to be. That's what's coming. So now is the time to build. Now is also the time to build because every time there's a product release, we sell a ton of them. okay? Today has already been a big day. And it's just because me and my team are working hard to make this P90 release work. That's gonna happen in December for Insanity, okay? It's gonna happen next year after the Super Bowl for the 21-day fix. The choice is yours about whether you wanna work that alone or with a group of people. I can just tell you from experience that if you're working it with a group of people, the benefit to everybody is bigger. So now is the time to build a team of people. And I say this every time a new product comes out, and I think sometimes people don't believe me, and then a new product comes out, and they go, oh wow, I wish I had a team of people doing what I'm doing right now, okay? So just, again, there's my spiel for we have a new product releasing today. Don't miss the next one. If you're missing this one, don't miss the next one. Build a team. Make sure you get as much out of that Insanity Max release as you can. I have just spilled water all over myself. You guys ever grab the wrong lid? These things? There's like the bigger one and the lid's a little different. I think I grabbed the wrong lid. So before I do that again, I'm just gonna take the lid off so I don't spill all over myself again because I'm starting to get thirsty. All right, I wanna go through something that Carl talked about at the end of our presentation, which was to his priorities, because I thought they were kind of interesting, and these are the things that he's committing to. There's also a sweepstakes. I'll probably put some more information about the sweepstakes. I'm kind of going over here, but I guess I'll talk about it really quickly. You might want to jot this down because you need this phrase if you want to win some stuff. So the first one is, here are the quotes. It's, I'm paying it forward with hashtag P90, period, hashtag it's your turn. So it's your turn is all one word. So if you put that phrase on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you put it, with a picture of whoever you're helping out with a P90. So for example, Kenneth Bryan, our brand new coach tonight, if I dig up a picture of Kenneth and paste it together with a picture of me and use this phrase in a post, I will be entered into a sweepstakes. Here are the prizes. 3 people will get a video shout out from Tony. I can just tell you from experience, that's a pretty valuable thing for your own little marketing. Okay, so that's worth taking a picture with whoever you're helping. 3 people, these are selected at random, 3 people will receive a P90X collection kit that has P90, P90X, X2, and X3 base kits, all of which will be signed by Tony. So I don't know, that's what, $500, $600 worth of stuff. You might want that, I don't know, you know. I just found my Insanity. I don't know if you guys saw that video the other day. I won't get it out. Go look at my Facebook page. I showed the original Insanity. I'll get it. It's worth getting. It's kind of hidden under some stuff here. That's what Insanity looked like when it first came out. If you guys have ever gotten Insanity, it's like this crazy book. I mean, this is like, and this thing is just pristine. And I think we won it, and that's why we've never used it. So all the like manuals and stuff are here in the back. I mean, can you imagine how much it must have been to ship this thing? It's like an encyclopedia. But you never know when these things are going to be collector's items. And I don't know whether that one will or not, but it's always nice to have another one around. And you could also turn around and sell those if you wanted to, I suppose. So there you go. That's 3 people are going to get that. 3 people are going to receive brand new P90 apparel. So there's a little bit of swag in it for people. And 1 grand prize winner. Tony is going to come to your house or wherever you want to do it. I mean, he said, you know, it says, you know, a private workout in your home. Tony said, get a group of your friends together and let's do it. I don't care, you know, rent a stadium, whatever. I'll do, you know, it's a workout, whether it's 1 person or 50. And if you want to do it 1, that's great. If you want to get a big group of people together, that's great too. So again, this is a pen. You need a piece of paper. I'm paying it forward with hashtag P90, period, hashtag, all one word, it's your turn. ITSYOURTURN, all one word. So if you do that, I would encourage you to do that. I think it'll be a fun little thing too. And again, you know, I think it's kind of in the spirit of P90. It's pretty cool. As I think a lot of you guys know, and that's running through October 31st too. As I think a lot of you guys know, we're donating to Wounded Warrior as part of this as well. So it's just another great thing that the company's doing, donating to Wounded Warrior along with P90, and I'm super stoked. It's just sometimes you go off to these leadership events and you just come back and you're just so damn glad that you are a part of something, and that's just how I feel about it. So let me get to Carl's. Okay, these are Carl's priorities. I'm going to run through these and then I'll wrap it up. These are Carl's priorities for the end of 2014, early 2015. The first one was keep Team Beachbody focused on helping people achieve their goals. It's very important to Carl, and I had an interesting opportunity to sit down with Carl and John. I ran into them at dinner at the Elite event, and then ran into them another time as well. And these guys are just so committed to the mission, and I know that it's, what else, you sort of sit there and go, what else would they say to you? But I know these guys. I trust these guys. They're on the right path. This is what they're here to do. And they already have more money than they could ever spend. It's just not what it's about. It's about now making other people successful and keeping us focused on other people's goals. Sometimes those goals are financial. Sometimes they're fitness related. Sometimes there's this really cool combination of both. I've got with a lot of my people that are, they're customers and they become coaches, and, I start to help them on both sides. And that's when it's really fun for me, because it's just all about them. And it's about making sure that we stay focused on that. And you had a couple of coaches come and talk to us about staying focused on that, not getting into this really misguided path of seeing people as points. People are people and they need our help. We get points along the way and we make commissions along the way, but it's really much, much bigger than that. The next priority, help more coaches achieve their potential. And again, just focused on other people. And when I say Carl's priorities, are really my priorities as well. He asked us to commit to these things, and I have. And that's going to be a big one for me. I will give you a little sneak peek on one of those things. We're going to be implementing some new challenge training and some new challenge methodology. I think that the challenge groups have been great. Challenge groups have revolutionized our business. But I think there's easier ways to do them that we're going to fine tune and make sure we teach you guys. Number 3, maximize sales of P90 challenge packs. That's a big one for me as well. Obviously, I just am personally tied to this program. It's all I can really tell you. It's the one program, maybe along with P90X, that just changed my life in such a big way. And I'm really committed to helping other people do that. And I said this when I filmed my first video after the first workout. I really do think that in the years to come, people who have big transformation stories, the people who win the challenge and get up on stage and have lost 100+ pounds, and over the past years have been saying, well, I did P90X and I modified, and I had to change this and I had to do that. They're going to start saying, I started with P90. And I just believe that to be true. And I had such a fantastic experience this year being on stage with Bob Taylor and being able to coach somebody to the finals. And I think this is the stepping stone for people to go do that. So number 3, maximize sales of P90 challenge packs. Number 4 is help more people be as excited as I am about improving their health by drinking Shakeology every day. This is a big one as well. I personally don't talk about Shakeology as much as I should. I just don't. And I'm wearing my shirt today as proof. I just don't talk about it as much as I should. I don't talk about how important it is in my personal fitness and my personal well-being and my personal health. And I don't talk about it as much as I should. And that may sound crazy to you, being that I sort of sit in this position, but I don't. I talk a lot about the fitness programs, but I want more people drinking Shakeology because I just know how it makes me feel. I got a message today from a woman who was a major skeptic, and she wants to be a coach, and she let me know. I almost want to go and pull what she said, but I'd have to dig it up. She said something to the effect of, I have been invited to be in a lot of companies like this before, and I've taken a lot of products like this before, and nothing has ever made me feel the way this makes me feel. And she's just getting great results, and to be a part of that is awesome. And it's something that more of us need to be excited about, and it starts with me. So that's my next priority and Carl's next priority for 14 and 15. And then finally, just being relentless. Carl is a guy who is relentless. It's funny sitting down and talking to them and just experiencing them again. John is a really mellow guy. John's more quiet, obviously, and you don't hear from John very much, but he's kind of in the background. Carl is a completely relentless guy. Once he gets locked in on something, he's like a pit bull with the lockjaw. And that's how I want to be until the end of the year. My major goal for this year is elite. It's gonna be a push. I had a talk today with one of the coaches who gonna play a big role in that. And we got a long way to go. We got a long way to go, and we have a short time to get there. But I believe that by being relentless, we can do it. I just know that, once you get committed to being absolutely relentless about finishing and about achieving your goals and about hitting your priorities and about doing the things you say you're going to do, it just changes the game. And so the last one really is, I'm sorry, there were more. I forgot. It just changes things. The next one for Carl, and I think this is a great idea, is to build an enormous 3-day refresh group after Halloween. And I'll say one of the reasons that's important is because, for those of you who are new, we typically experience a lull in between Halloween and November. It's just a time where people are kind of coming off Halloween, party. They start to get focused on Thanksgiving. A lot of people who work other jobs are trying to wrap things up so they can go really enjoy their Thanksgiving. And there's a slow period there that is typically the slowest period of the year. And it is at a time of year where if I'm going to make elite, I cannot afford to have that be a slow period of time. So, once we get P90 under our belt and we start to approach that Halloween thing, the 3-day refresh is going to become a big focus, and corporate's going to have a big group. I don't know whether we'll join that or what, but we should all band together, either with a corporate group or with a Fit Club Network group, and do a huge 3-day refresh after Halloween. I think that's an awesome idea. Carl's next one is drive product development for the most innovative year in our history, 2015. My version of driving product development, I don't drive product development, right? And yet I do. I build things like FCNCoachTraining.com. I build things like what we used to call the Coach Bootcamp, which we now call Coach Basics. And I will develop a new challenge group training that I think will just blow you guys away. And I think it's going to make it much easier and simplified for you. I don't want to get much more into it than that, other than to say that I think that we're going to move in a very good direction. And I will also tell you that this is not something that I have come up with on my own. It's after talking to a lot of people and trying to, learn more about what people are doing. I have always believed that you can learn a ton from other people. And so I am constantly a student, constantly trying to learn, constantly trying to get better. And this is certainly one of those times. So that's going to really do it for tonight. I guess I'll just finish with saying that I'm just so proud to be a part of this company. It's certainly made a huge impact on my life from a financial perspective, and that's that's out there, and it's part of it, and I'm not embarrassed about that by any means. I'm really happy about it, but it's so much more than that for me, and it's just going back to leadership reminds me of the relationships that I've created with people over the years, and the relationships that I continue to create. Walking out of that event, having sat down and had real meaningful conversations with people that I'd never talked to before, it means a lot. And I didn't have those skills when I started doing this. I just didn't have those skills, and I and more even than just saying I didn't have the skills, I just didn't care. You know, I was kind of a cold, callous person, and I just didn't care. Relationships in my life didn't matter to me, and now I realize they're really the key to life. And the only reason that I have that is because of this company called Beachbody challenging me on an ongoing basis to continue to get better and learn more. And I want you guys to really think about that. You know, Jim Rohn is one of my mentors that I've never met, and I listened to his audiobook, The Art of Exceptional Living, over and over and over again. And one of the things he always said was, you know, set a goal to become a millionaire, not for the money, but for the person that you will have to become in order to get that money. And he was right. He was right. And it's been worth every minute of the journey. And I can't wait to see what we're going to accomplish, you know, here as we approach the fourth quarter, but going into next year and going on beyond that into 2015, 2016, maybe some international expansion. Again, I don't really have any firm information on that. Even if I did, I couldn't tell you. It's just such an exciting time. I'm so stoked to be a coach. So that's it for tonight. Thanks for your time tonight. I know it went extra long, but I had a lot of ground to cover. I hope you found some of this information interesting. I'll post some of the slides. I'm trying to put together a blog post with kind of a summary where you'll be able to get some slides. And I wanted to do this call as a part of that. So keep an eye out for that. And I'll talk to you guys next week. Oh, and for those of you who hung on until the very end, this guy is going to be a guest on our call. We probably won't be able to do it as a Zoom call because I have a limited amount of people that I can get on these calls. But Carl is coming as a guest on our team call, and I will announce more information on that when we get it booked and it's concrete. It might be next Tuesday. It may be sometime after that. We'll figure it out and let everybody know. But again, thanks for your time. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next week.